Contest Chair, our Chief Judge, fellow Toastmasters, and most honored guests. It was a hot summer day, and Johnny and her friends decided to go for a swim. When she dove into the murky water, she hit her head on a submerged rock and broke her neck. There she hung in the water, unable to move her arms to pull herself upward, unable to kick her feet to propel herself to the surface. If a friend hadn't seen her and rescued her, she would have drowned. In an instant, she had become a quadriplegic, unable to move any part of her body from the tops of her shoulders on down. She was 17 years of age. George was a young man with diabetes, but his blood sugar levels were very difficult to control, and the wild fluctuations between the dangerous highs and the coma-inducing lows resulted in many hospitalizations and damage to his body. Amy was a young woman who suffered from neuralgia, which is an inflammation of the nerve endings of the head and the neck. The slightest breeze across her skin could cause excruciating pain. How would you react if you found yourself in one of these situations? Well, you could rant and rave about the injustice of it all, saying, "Why me?" You could be filled with fear about the unknown future. You could, out of frustration, turn quite mean to your caregivers, or you could go into a deep depression, lamenting the loss of your hopes and dreams. All of these reactions are quite normal. What's important is what you do after you stop feeling sorry for yourself. The first thing is acceptance. Now, I knew a lady who had a mild stroke, and it left her with a slight disfigurement. But because her appearance was so important to her, all she wanted to do was die. And she asked everybody that she knew to help her do so. She never got to the point of accepting her situation. I knew another man who, because he had trouble accepting his lot in life, turned to having a very negative attitude. He chose to complain about his situation, about his surroundings, about his care. He was not a nice person to be around. That was his choice, because attitude is the one thing you do have control over. Now let's go back to George and Johnny and Amy for a minute. When they decided to accept their situation and to develop a positive attitude, some wonderful things started to happen. Johnny discovered that she had an artistic ability that she didn't know that she had. George started a business where he was able to employ other people. Amy opened up her heart to neglected children and founded a home for them where they could get the love that they needed. But that's not all. They became encouragers. Johnny went on and became a motivational speaker, inspiring many. George, I've known for nearly 40 years, and I tell you, in all that time, I've never, ever heard him complain. Although he's plenty to complain about, because he has lost a leg to gangrene, he's lost most of his sight, and his heart and lungs are in life-threatening condition. Amy, later on, had a serious accident, and for the last 20 years of her life was confined to bed. But that didn't stop her. She went on and wrote books and poems which have been a great encouragement and comfort to people worldwide. Now these three people, for me, are role models. Because when they stopped focusing on themselves, they focused on others. Now, I would hope that nothing like this would ever happen to you, but there are very few people who go through life without some form of trouble. It has been said that life is a series of ups and downs, and the only straight line is on your ECG at the end of your life. So now is a very good time to decide how you would react when and if trouble comes to you. Acceptance is the foundation for building the rest of your life. On top of that, develop positive attitude. Be the person who sees the glass half full, not half empty. And then act. Find something to do. Don't just sit there. Better still, find something to do that will help somebody else. And who knows, but in the process of accepting and developing a positive attitude and acting, you too could become an encouraging role model.